Hey, so I woke up today feeling really worried just about the kind of general issues that people worry about in their life, be it finances, how's my business going to go, how's the overall economy going to go, how's this inflation stuff going, what about my personal life, am I going to get these personal goals met, all the stuff we worry about. But I really felt it in my guts, and I checked in with a buddy who's going through a lot, and he said, something about needing support for what was going on with him, a similar deal, and even a tougher situation than mine. Um, and so I thought about that, and I was also listening to a Christopher Hitchens um, video from the night before and today, where he was, he's clearly atheist, and it was just fun because I'm more of an agnostic, and I was just kind of taking this chance to listen to his arguments against religion and for atheism. And while Hitchens can be snarky and negative and whatever, he's also was a very smart man and had some really interesting points to bring up. I reserve judgment on religiosity. And so he was making some points that there's really no reason to believe that there is a God, etc. So I took that in, and I took what my friend was thinking about and what I was thinking about, and I thought about how do we solve our problems. And I wondered if one of the side effects of having lived in a religious culture where even our forefathers were religious kind of refugees from Europe, etc., and whether our religiosity made us feel as if we needed to ask externally for salvation. And I just sat there and thought about that, and I looked around and said, well, gosh, there's real reasons to want to be saved. Maybe you're wrongfully imprisoned. Maybe your um, body is super sick or you're dying or whatever. And it's easy to say, God, please save me from this predicament. And then, but we're all in predicaments all the time. And so I'm wondering, are we sitting here externalizing our salvation because of our religiosity? And I'm not making a point where I'm saying, oh, I know there's no God, or because Hitchens says there's no God, that he's right. I don't believe that at all. We could have an unseen God, or people have all sorts of experiences with God and spirit guides, and I'm into shamanism and things that are very spiritual. So I wonder how we can figure out what to do. And Hitchens was saying, save yourself. And I agree. On one hand, you've got to have the motivation and the wherewithal to solve your problems. To say, I'm going to solve this problem. No one is coming, is another thing that Hitchens remarked on. So we've got to be the savior. And I think that's a really empowering statement. And it doesn't matter if you're religious or not to agree with that and to think, okay, that's good. But then what religion and other spiritual traditions teach us can be surrender. Well, surrender is saying, I really can't handle all this. And once I surrender, God or spirits or what have you will step in and assist me. And I know that surrender helps you feel better because you can't handle everything all the time and etc. So if there is a God, it happens more subtly. We don't see burning bushes and things like that. So could it be that we don't have to answer this question? Of course, we don't have to answer this question. I think that's the point that I want to make to Hitchens is he makes these good points, but it doesn't disprove God. And the theists that were debating against him made their points, and it doesn't prove God or disprove atheism. So we can act as if and we can play along with spiritual traditions that are designed to make us feel release and relief and that are asking God or the universe for assistance. But what Hitchens gets right is that he's saying, save yourself. So I say we do both. We can save ourselves by saying, I'm the one who's got to fix this. I'm the one who has to start this ball rolling by saying, I'm going to quit this drug, or I'm going to get a better job, or I'm going to deal with this health crisis, or I'm going to turn over a new leaf in whatever way it is. But then when we do that, when we go within and surrender, we're surrendering and allowing in a spiritual power if they exist, if we believe they exist or if they do. And at the same time, we are going within and we are saving ourselves. So I don't think it has to be either one, and it's probably both. We do have to be self propelled and guided and motivated. But then when we do that, let's say the shaman goes in and gets in a trance by listening to drumming and meets his spirit guides and gets answers. Are those spirit guides real? How do I know? How does he know? How does anyone know? But that process is one of going within, and going within is what gets him out into the information he needs from these external characters that he needs in his life. So it's kind of a false choice in my mind. It's a false question. It's a false dichotomy. We don't know. We're not going to know in our lifetimes. So we don't have to be an atheist or a religious person. I don't have to be against people that believe in God, and I don't have to be against disbelievers. How would I know? Why not play along and act as if? Why not do what both sides are saying? Why not marry those two and make an amalgam of the two, whereby I say, I've got to fix me, save me, help me, and I'm going to ask for help in doing so. And I'm going to ask guides or God or friends, and God can come in the form of my friends or a spirit guide or whatever it is, or a life lesson, and just go and take care of business. So it's both. And I don't know if many people want to agree with that or see it that way, but just keep in mind that if your life is going to improve, you're going to have to change it. But if you're going to change it, you probably have seen and unseen helpers, and resources that you should ask for help. You should beg it. Beg God for help, beg your friends for help, whatever it is. A therapist, seek it, seek assistance. Don't be egoic and arrogant and think you can solve it by yourself, but you do have to start the work yourself. And every time I've had a problem, I've gotten really amazing, interesting answers and solutions that do seem as if there was rhyme or reason to this universe. And yet I can be a real doubter, a real skeptic. And so I, pre- I prefer to reserve judgment on it. I don't see what the point is of asking the question in the first place is. But I do think that we can bring tools from both of these perspectives to solve our problems. And I don't care who helps me as long as they mean well. And that's kind of the end of it. Why ask questions that I can't know the answer to? Why not just get to work and get do that work with whatever good beings, real, imagined, or in between, want to help, and leave all those deep questions for later. You know, maybe they get answered in an afterlife or something like that. But in the meantime, let's get to work on the stuff that we can fix and change and do and make our lives better. And then when we're kind of doing that, maybe people come along that need our help too. In the same way, when we were asking for mercy from God or whomever, and we can say, well, I'll give that homeless person mercy. I'll give that friend going through something mercy. I'll be on their team like I was asking for my team to assemble. So that's where humanity comes in. When you need help, you ask for it. When somebody else needs help, you answer. And I think that's how we do. That's how we have a culture. That's how we have a civilization, by having mercy. And I think it's okay to seek mercy, but you better have it when the time comes for you to repay and keep the circle going.